and welcome back to the channel, and this is the Z Flip 5 from Samsung, and spoiler alert, this might very well be the best flip phone in 2023. Let me tell you why. Alright, so the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 5 uses the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 for Galaxy, which is also in the Z Fold 5 and the S23 Ultra. And like I said in my review of those two phones, it's super fast, it's super responsive, and overall, it's a beast of a processor. So when it comes to performance, the Z Flip 5 is no slouch and is a true portable flagship monster. Now, whether you're a big gamer or you just like to have, multiple apps running in the background, or you want things to open up quick and be super responsive, you'll have the time of your life with this new phone. And my only gripe here with the Z Flip 5 is in terms of power is that even though this phone packs this beast of a processor, the fact that this doesn't support Samsung's DeX is a bit disappointing. And for power users who don't necessarily like the Fold form factor and prefer, something smaller like the Flip for everyday use, the lack of DeX support sucks, and I wish that it was here. Now, the phone is more than capable to handle DeX, so I'm wondering why Samsung felt the need to exclude DeX here on the Flip. I think it'd be awesome to see that in the future, so that could be something, that Samsung can throw out against their competitors in this entry-level foldable. Now, one thing I'll give Samsung props for right away though is its storage capacity. Now, in previous iterations, the Z Flip had always shipped with a base 128 gig storage, and to my surprise, when Samsung showed this off to me in early July, they told me that they bumped up the storage to 256 gigs as standard without bumping up the price. So kudos to you, Samsung. Well done. But yeah, besides that nice upgrade in storage, you can still get the Z Flip 5 in that 512 gigs of storage if you'd like, but all versions will come with 8 gigs of RAM. Now, the battery hasn't changed from last year. It's still a 3700 milliamp hour battery, which in all honesty, with the power efficiency of that new Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 chip and the new software optimizations in One UI, I've noticed that I'm able to get through most of the day with about 10 to 15% left at around 11 p.m. But whenever I'm at home or barely on my phone, I can easily get the phone to last till the next day without charging it overnight with about 40% battery. I think if you're constantly on your phone, or maybe you have bad cell reception, you might have to charge this phone midday. And if you do, this phone does support 25 watts wired charging and 15 watts wireless. Now, as someone who prefers a Fold form factor, going from a Fold to a Flip wasn't actually all that terrible. Now, when I go out, I actually enjoyed having that square form factor when it's closed. It just felt different in my pockets. And just like the Fold 5, the Z Flip 5 now actually shuts flat as well, which is such a nice thing to see here. I've always hated how previous Flips and Folds didn't shut flat, but this looks awesome and it feels awesome, and the pocketability feels more comfortable now too. The Z Flip 5, if you guys didn't know, comes in a bunch of different colors. It comes in 4 standard colors like graphite, lavender, cream, and mint, and 4 Samsung exclusive colors which all look incredible. Now, as someone who unfortunately got the boring graphite colorway, Dbrand as usual sent me their palette skins for the Z Flip 5, and not only does the back of the phone look super unique and look almost like the Samsung exclusive blue color, but the front of the phone also got that same custom unique graphic from Dbrand's palette line, which makes the phone look super unique. Now, they've got a ton of other colors and designs as well, so if you want to check out channel sponsor Dbrand and support my channel, make sure to go to dbrand.com/heymarkel or click the first link down below. Alright, now let's talk about the displays, and the biggest change here on the Z Flip 5 is of course the flex window or cover display on the outside. Now, we saw this coming from a mile away. There was no way that Samsung was going to let Motorola or Oppo outdo them here, and they definitely did a great job here on the cover display. I love the bigger 3.4-inch cover display that can do so much more than just show your notifications. This bigger display can double as your viewfinder for your camera, can show you your calendar or weather, and with a few good lock extensions, you can also run any app on this outside display, which might seem odd, but still a cool experience nonetheless. Now, in order for you to run any app on here, you'll have to first download Good Lock in the Galaxy Store, and then download Multistar inside Good Lock, and then you have to add the Good Lock launcher in the widget section under the cover screen settings inside your settings app. But once that's enabled, whatever app you have installed on your Flip can basically run on that outside cover display. So if you fancy playing Tetris or Asphalt 9, or maybe you want to browse Reddit or watch YouTube videos without having to Flip open your phone, you can do that, which is definitely a much needed feature here on the Flip line. Now, as for the inside display, it's still the same 6.7-inch dynamic OLED display, which means it's a variable refresh rate up to 120 Hz, but the overall display did get brighter. It's now up to 1750 nits, which is perfect for outdoor visibility. Now, I wish that Samsung's crease looked and felt less noticeable this time around, but I think they're still a little bit behind Oppo and Motorola as of right now. But overall though, it's not terrible. The fact that the Flip now shuts completely flat means that we might have better and less noticeable crease next year. So fingers crossed that happens. Okay, so let's talk cameras. Now on the camera front, I'll be focusing on the two cameras on the outside because like any foldable that I've reviewed, the main rear cameras are always going to be better. So the dual cameras on the back consist of a 12 megapixel main camera and one 12 megapixel for the ultra wide. Now without going too deep into the technicalities of these cameras, these are basically going to be the same camera sensors from last year's Flip 4, but with the help of the new ISP on that Gen 2 chip, processing and overall photo quality is going to be a lot better. So how does it look? Now in everyday normal conditions, outdoors the Z Flip 5, no matter whether it's the 1X main camera or the ultra wide, looks surprisingly really good. Now shots look contrasty and the colors look super accurate, although a little bit saturated than what I'd like. But everything looks tack sharp, but not the kind of sharp that's clearly processed. I think Samsung and Qualcomm did a really great job on the processing side here. Is it the best camera? Maybe on a flip phone, but nowhere near the S23 Ultra or Pixel 7 Pro. Now in not so great lighting, I feel like photo performance could be better. Just like the Fold 5, I feel like I'm noticing a little bit of smudging, especially in very dark environments, but also the shutter lag is noticeable on the Flip here as well. Now, what's great about the Flip 5 though is that you can use the cover display, like I said earlier, as your viewfinder. So if you love taking selfies, you can use the much higher quality cameras and take selfies or videos that way. And speaking of videos, it's pretty good for a flip phone. It's obviously, like I said, not going to be S23 Ultra quality, but it can shoot up to 4K 60. But if you shoot in 4K 30, you can use the ultra wide and 1X lens if you want. But yeah, the colors look pretty natural with great HDR processing, but I did notice that processing can still be a little bit too much where things look a little bit over sharpened digitally. But overall though, you can't really expect too much or have the best sensors in Samsung's lineup here on the Flip line. And yeah, that's the Z Flip 5. It's one of the better upgrades we've seen from Samsung this year, and definitely a big step up from the Z Flip 4 and below. Now, just like Samsung's Z Fold 5, the Z Flip 4 has some pretty good trade-ins, especially for previous Flip owners on Samsung's website. Now, if you trade in a Z Flip 3 or 4 right now, you can expect to pay about $400 out of pocket, which I think is a really great value, especially if you want the latest and greatest from Samsung. In my opinion, the new cover display alone is worth the upgrade. The new processor and the fact that the Flip now shuts flat is a nice reason to upgrade too, but the bigger cover display should be more than enough to convince you guys that it's worth it. Plus, in my opinion, Samsung software is undeniably one of the best software for foldables. Anyways, that's been it for this video. If you guys haven't watched my Z Fold 5 review, I'll make sure to link that down below. And if you guys want to see more Flip and Fold content or a review on the Watch 6 Classic, let me know in the comments down below. Thank you all so much for watching, and yeah, I'll see you all in the next one.